Y'all know what time it is. If you can hear me, put something in the comment box if you can hear me. Just want to make sure before we get started. All right. Who knows what time it is? I'm just kidding. It's production time. I'm Reid Stefan, realest puppet in the game. Today, we're back with another live stream, and it's a beautiful day, so I figured we'd set it up outside and answer some questions until today's premiere about 10 things nobody tells you about Autotune. I'm talking about brand new features or features that you didn't know about that you can do with your Autotune. So let's jump right into some questions. How do I get a fat kick? Just go to wholeloops.com and check out the drum kits. I recommend Urban Beats 4. I've been using the most recently. So if you're looking for a fat kick, Urban Beats 4 should do the trick. I didn't know this puppet did live streams. Well, yes, I do. What is your go-to compression chain for vocals? Well, every vocal that I record gets recorded through my TubeTech CL1B. So I gotta say shout out to that thing because that compression is literally on every vocal. But from there, it's probably gonna hit RVox, and it's probably gonna hit the compression in CLA 76, but as a parallel compressor with the 76. Other than that, things get swapped out a lot. I highly recommend you check out Gain Reduction by Joey Sturgis Tones. That is just a disrespectful compressor, and actually just came out with version 2 of it because it was so popular. Yeah, those are my go-to vocal compressors for sure. Sidechain kick on 808 or no? I don't know, it depends on the style of song. Sometimes instead of sidechaining it, I go and print it as a stem and just cut a little hole in the stem and do a fade, instead of like trying to do a sidechain thing with a plugin. Do you have any Logic templates for rap vocals? Yes. Waves Vocal Sauce includes a Logic template, and UAD Vocal Sauce includes a Logic template. What's your go-to synth plugin? Serum. And you're actually about to find out why pretty soon, because I got a really exciting announcement pertaining to Serum coming up in the near future. Is Kara your girlfriend? Yes. How... Yo, bro, can you do a dance hall vocal mix? I actually already have done a video. You just got to type it into the search bar and you'll find it. What's the best Waves plugin for a hip-hop song? Like for mastering it or for making one? That was kind of a vague question. Probably RVox, though, if it's going to have a vocal in it. Let's see. Computer specs. This is the guy with the i5. Do you recommend 16 gigabyte, 500, whatever? I made a whole video about computer specs, so if you type in disrespectful music production computers, you'll see me and my video this year about all my recommendations about computer specs. It's a question I get a lot, so I made a whole video about it. What do you think of Phase Plant? I haven't used Phase Plant. Which Apollo do you use? I use my X8 the most because I'm usually sitting at my desktop, but honestly, the X4 sounds just as good, which is incredible. So I really got to say both. What do you do for really sibilant vocals? Actually, I have a tutorial about this too. I go in and de-ess it by cutting the S's out in the audio itself and then turning down the volumes of those little pieces that are the S pieces. And that's kind of what a de-esser does, but you're going in and doing it by hand. And then I'll put a de-esser on it too, just to kind of EQ those S's a little bit. But the combination of the manual S reduction and the de-esser will be perfect. And that video is called, what was that video called? Vocal tips before plugins, I think? Type in and you'll find it. It's all about cleaning up a vocal with breaths and S's. How many hummingbirds visit your feeder? Not so many in the middle of the morning, but in the very beginning of the morning, there's probably 10 over this feeder every day. Golden tip for when mixing backing vocals. More reverb, more harmonics like distortion, more low cut, and more high cut. But maybe less compression. How do you learn writing a pop song for a total beginner? And if you're trying to make the beat and write the lyrics yourself, and you're a beginner, I would say just pick one or the other and figure that out first. Yeah, and also work with people too who have the skills that you don't, because that's going to make the biggest difference. Let's see, what's your thoughts on Persona Studio One DAW? I'm actually about to buy Studio One just so I can make compatible presets for the sauce stuff, but I haven't tried it yet, so I don't really have thoughts on it, but everyone keeps asking me about it, so I guess it's popular and time for me to make my sauce compatible with it, so I'm about to find out. What's the difference between pop and hip-hop music? Honestly, not much lately. Will I see you at NAMM 2020? Yes, you will. How do you feel about distortion? It's so critical to making a mix sound powerful. It can be loud, but without distortion, it won't be powerful. It'll just be painful. Is mixing in headphones acceptable? Absolutely. As long as you are familiar with them. Ozone 9 is amazing. That's not a question, but I have to agree with that statement. How do you mix strings? Usually with the low cut and a stereo spreader. That's about it. Are you sidechaining and EQ cutting clashing frequencies, kick and 808 essential the same? If not, which ones first? Instead of going for a frequency, I would rather just cut the audio out. I have a video about that too, actually. It's called Cleaning Up 808s and Kicks, I think. Or the key to perfect kicks and snares. I think that's what it's called. It's about cutting audio so that your snares and kicks cut through. Do you use Melodyne? Once in a while, but not too often. Usually only when I have really bad singing do I have to bust out Melodyne. Which EQ is the best? Probably FabFilter Pro Q3. It can do the most. I wouldn't say that it has character to it, so it really depends what you decide is the best. But FabFilter Pro 3 has the most uses. How do you mix trumpets? Ableton OTT. And then I will record them, the layers individually instead of recording the ensemble, so I can put Autotune on all of them. Because it sounds crazy when you Autotune horns. Crazy good. As long as you don't record all the horns at once. Do you use Ozone 9 recommended for mastering? Absolutely. I use it for mixing too. I use the individual modules as plugins a lot in my mix, and then I use Ozone 9 on my master with the Ozone Master Sauce preset. Damn bro, where are you? In LA? Yes, I am. And it's beautiful out today. Where are you at? What do you do when you feel your beats sound empty? Maybe put a reverb tail on something to fill a gap. Like pick one of the sounds in your beat and have it be a reverby kind of sound. Put the sauce on. Oh, the sauce was put on this morning when I woke up and got out of bed. Boston is cold AF. Yep. I grew up on the East Coast in New Jersey, and as soon as I had the dough to get out of there, I got out of there. I did not want to be cold ever again. I hate being cold. Favorite mastering compressor for hip-hop? I actually really don't compress my master when I mix hip-hop. I'm usually just clipping. Maybe some EQ. Are you still making originals? Yeah, it's just not really getting released as a Reid song. I'm making a lot of original music that gets released by other people. I repost the stuff that I work on my SoundCloud page if you want to see stuff that I worked on recently. 3 favorite reverbs for you. Verb Suite Classics, Valhalla Room, and Arts Acoustic reverb is really good. Arts Acoustic. Do you add sub bass to your kicks? Yes, using R bass is really good on kicks. So you're like a ghost producer? No, I produce for credit and publishing. So that's not a ghost producer. Ghost producers just do it for money and then that's it. I've done ghost production though. Did it once, never did it again. Do you use Heat and Pro Tools? Oh, sorry, my hot tub just came on. Sorry about that noise. I'm not in the hot tub right now, but I am next to it. How did you break through? I don't know. I don't really feel like one day I was broken through. Kind of just built up momentum over time as I put in work. What's the first piece of analog gear we should buy? A microphone and an interface. But if you've already got that, probably a preamp for your microphone. And if you've got that, maybe a compressor. But we got 5 minutes left until the premiere of today's tutorial. For everyone who's just joining us, in 5 minutes I'm going to be bringing you 10 Autotune secrets that nobody tells you. I'm talking about 10 epic ways to use your Autotune plugin that you don't really see up on YouTube. You see a lot of pitch correction, but this is everything but that. So this is really going to be an epic Autotune tutorial that you don't want to miss. Regardless of which Autotune you have, you're going to love this. And that's in 5 minutes. And if you're watching this live stream in the future, I'll put a link to it in the description so you know what video I'm talking about today. What Black Friday deals are you waiting for? I'm going to get me some Yuhi products for sure. That's top on my list. I think that's how you pronounce it. What else is on there that I really wanted to get? There wasn't too much other stuff. I'm really loaded up on plugins. So maybe some contact banks and some drum kits. Do you have any tips on starting a music project? Yeah, just get started. And don't. Oh, there's a hummingbird. Yeah, what was I doing? Oh man, I can't remember. Lost my train of thought like a hummingbird. Tips on getting started. That's right. So you have to just start. You can't sit there and think about it. You have to just put things up, make things, get a reaction, get a response, and see how you did. You never blink. That's true. I guess I don't blink. Once in a while I'll blink. I'll blink eventually. Let's see. Do you finish your songs in Pro Tools since the last steps are vocals? Yeah, usually I print the final mix out of Pro Tools. That doesn't mean that I stemmed out my whole Ableton session and brought it into Pro Tools and mixed it again. Usually I just bounce my Ableton work, bring it into Pro Tools, cut the vocal over it, put some mastering plugins on it, and bounce it out. And that's how my final bounce gets made. And if I want to change something in the beat, I just open up Ableton and bounce a new beat. Soundtoys 5 opinion, all of them are really essential. I love Soundtoys 5. Do you recommend any amp simulator for guitars? The UAD plugins are really good, but they're expensive. So other than that, just stick to Guitar Rig. What do you have on the master while mixing? I usually take Ozone Master Sauce and put it on the master, but since that creates a lot of latency, I'll just take the final plugin out of it, the maximizer, with the clipper setting, and just use that until I'm done mixing, and then I'll add the rest of the chain in. Oh, we got 2 minutes till the tutorial. How do I get drums to sound like Heathens by 21 Pilots? I don't know that song, so I really can't help you with that. Can you mod me in the chat? What? Presets great. Are plugin presets great for Thing? Do you have any tips for mid-side mixing? Yeah, try with the Ozone 9 plugins, because it sounds the best in my experience. Do you use Heat in Pro Tools? I'm not sure what Heat is. What RAMs do you recommend for Pro Tools to work efficiently? Check out my computers video called Disrespectful Music Production Computers for all my spec recommendations. Compression tips using CL1B on rappers or singers. Yeah, you barely want the needle to move. Like, you want it to move 1 decibel. You don't want to smash it with the compressor, you want to just tickle it. And we got time for one more question. Do you put a limiter at the end of the vocal chain? Yes, I do. And if it has attack and release speed settings, slow attack and slow release, like 2000 milliseconds, really fast, really slow release, really slow attack. And usually FabFilter Pro L2 in the default setting, just got to change the release and attack time, and it's a great preset for vocal chain finishing. Best mic you've ever used besides Sony? Definitely the Slate mic, especially considering how cheap it is. Oh, and it's 10 o'clock. That means it's time to head over to the Autotune tutorial for the live premiere. Thank you so much for the questions. I'll be posting this live stream up on YouTube for you guys to rewatch in the future. But make sure you head over to my Autotune video and check out 10 Autotune secrets that nobody tells you. So I'll catch you guys next time in the premiere of the tutorial. Peace out.